Over to you, Shiva. You can get started. Shiva? Hello? We are unable to hear you, Shiva.
I think you gotta share the other Shiva. Yeah. Hello.
Two Shivas, right? Yeah, okay.
Shiva, I just remind myself Shiva B. Share to
Okay,
Shiva.
okay.
Yeah. Share to Shiva.
Got it.
So confused.
Yes. Please go ahead, Shiva.
Maybe I think
Okay.
Shiva has to log off and log in again. Maybe.
So, Shiva, looks like you're having an issue with network connectivity. Okay, so before we get sorted out, like what is that we use typically this JIRA automation rules in our day-to-day implementation perspective?
I'm sharing my screen. Can someone then confirm that you're able to hear me?
Yeah, audio is fine.
Audio is fine. We are not able to see your screen. Yes.
Share my screen.
Great.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All good.
All good. Carry on, man.
Okay. For the demo purpose, I've set up this board. And I added some of the items and I've created some of the backlog and the future sprint and current sprint as well. Okay, you can see that I have current sprint running and the future sprint, and also I've made some backlog over here. I added the store effects to this. So before we get into the automation,
Your voice
I
is
just wanted
breaking
to
up,
give you a
man.
brief about what automation the purpose is.
Shiva, your voice is breaking up a lot. Your internet okay?
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah. Your voice is breaking up a lot. You're not audible properly.
Maybe you can come close to the mic, or are you?
Yeah.
I'm using I'm using headset.
I think maybe everything is fine. You can just speak a little louder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope you had a breakfast, right?
Yeah, I had breakfast. Is it audible now? Is it better now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So the purpose of feedback is, the purpose of automation is that if you create a store, every time your team member creating subtasks for that is one scenario. I'm talking the one.
Correct. I think networking and internet issues, definitely.
We lost you, Shiva, again. We are unable to hear you.
He can change the network, maybe Geo or whatever he has got, hotspot, something. This is happening last 2 or 3 days. Internet, it's not stable.
Network issues is coming up. Yes.
Murphy's law, and everything has to happen today.
Always, I wanted to report it to a specific person so that he can review those hybrid issues first and they can assign it more discuss later. Let's go to that first. So to enable this automation in your cloud JIRA platform or even in our data center as well, you need to an project lead access, not just an administrator or sprint manager access. You need to have the project lead access so that you can access to the project settings. So here you can see the information.
We are able to see your screen.
What the now changes.
Shiva, we are
Can't
not
you see
able
the
to
screen?
see your screens.
You need to share.
I'm also not able to see my see your screen, Shiva.
Simply showing me stop sharing. I'm wondering. Ravi, can you share? Can you see the screen?
No.
No, it is telling you started screen sharing, but yes, now it is coming up.
Got it. Yes, we are able to see.
Okay. So as I said, you must be in project lead in the JIRA to access this automation.
Shiva, can you start
Go to,
again, please?
project
Because
settings.
no, Shiva. Can you go back and start again, please? Because nobody saw anything.
You mean from the
Please start
beginning?
Yeah. Nobody saw anything. Start from beginning, please.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
A minute. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see.
Right side
Yes, yes.
JIRA was not loading. So okay.
Yep.
So this is backlog, the board, you know very well, right? So there is a project setting as well in the data center. You would find in the right side, but here in the cloud we have in the left side as well. So you can see in the data center. If you click the project settings to enable or to work on the automation, and it will this. You can see this automation, right? Click on automation. Okay. So for my exploratory purpose, I have created so many, and there is a feature also called to toggle. So I can disable those automations so that it won't impact in future if I don't want to use it. I don't have to delete it. I just have to click the toggle to disable those. So I've created some of the, like for example, assignee rule or code review. It's an automation created. I'll show you how to create an automation here. And also we have templates. The template in the sense in which case you want to create so that it will create. For example, when all child issues are completed, then close the sprint. So usually the end last day of the sprint, right? When we close all the stories, tasks, subtasks, so we'll go and hit the complete sprint button, right? So we don't have to do that. If you automate it and all the stories, tasks, subtasks, everything is being closed, the JIRA will trigger this condition and it will close the sprint as well. So here the manage complete task, the categorized here, how to organize the task. The organize this task in the sense like cloning issues from one project to another project, right? Creating an issue in another project as well, or you can copy the issues. This is just an organizing the task, and also the transitioning from from story to task or from one project to another project, changing the workflow. This is the release management related. the developer tools. Like if I want to create an issue, and under the story, I want to create a subtask. This is for the developer, and this is the design. They categorized it so that it is easy for us to utilize whichever you want. If not, you can go ahead and create yourself, like creating a rules here. So I'm going to create to set up an automation. We have to create a rule here. Click the rule here, and it asks me add a trigger point. Like when do you want that the automation should start, right? So I'll say when the issue created. I'll use one. You can sort here. You can comment see here that issue moved or issue linked or issue assigned. So if you don't find those, you just come here that issue created. So I'll use this issue created. The condition is when a trigger, add a trigger. So when trigger will create an issue. Okay, then what? We have to add the condition in an action point. So we need an action point whenever issue created. What action point we require is. So we need to add the subtask for that. My condition is right. So what I'll do, I'll select the subtask over here. If not, I'll go here and I'll check the subtask. Create subtask. I'm saying the create subtask. The summary. What do you want the summary to be? The newly created subtask. I would say that unit test result. I have already unit testing something, so I'm differentiating, adding that UT or something. So here, whenever an issue created, as I said, an action point is required that I need to be created one subtask under this. So here, just click the turn on. Okay, give the name, what the unit test name, right? I mean the automation name because I have given the list of automations I will already created and disabled. So in the future also you need to know that which automation name you created and how to enable which one you need to enable. UTR subtask. And I can enable this for all the admins for this project, or I can also use it.
We lost you, Shiva.
Yeah, we lost him.
Shiva, you're there? Okay, looks like network issues. So the rule which Shiva was talking about helps the team whenever the team will be typically creating the same set of subtasks for a specific type of user stories, right? So every now and then we get questions or queries like how we can minimize the time the team takes to create the subtasks. Every sprint, some specific set of subtasks might be created for all set of user stories. That's when this type of automation rule will help to get that rule triggered as and when, and we can define the logic or the condition within that, right? We might not need for all the user stories creating the subtask. So we can, within the automation rule, we can define the logic, we can define the rule on how we want to get that enabled or activated. Yes, Sinagesh?
Yeah. So the background, Satish, to this is, let's say I'm already using JIRA, which is a data center version. So for my data center version, this won't apply, right, Satish?
It will. It is applicable for JIRA Server, Data Center, and Cloud. These rules are available in all the versions of JIRA. Only thing is like, because we have the free version of Cloud, we are just making use of it to do the demo.
Okay. So whether I may be having cloud version or data center version, that's okay. But
Yes.
what I'm learning from you is like already I'm having this particular user story and how to create task and all. Whenever we create a subtask, if I need to automate this process, so these steps are useful for me to automate these steps.
Exactly. Yes. And these can be used for multiple scenarios and multiple situations. And as Shiva mentioned, we need to have that project lead access to get it activated at our project level. That is first rule, first condition. The second thing is at the organization level, they might not allow or agree to get these automation enabled. Reason, in our organization, the automation rules will get triggered for all the projects. These are not the project level until unless we explicitly define it. Right? So we need to check with the JIRA admins before defining or activating or enabling any of these automation rules. Whether this can be done at your project level or this needs to be done at the organization level, we need to have a conversation with the JIRA admins, and accordingly, we need to take the next step.
Got it. So Satish, these steps to automate or to reduce the time to create this subtask based on the business need. We may want to track the testing effort or QA effort, or three team members assigned 3 subtasks. If I wanted to track the 3 subtasks, this is helpful to do the automation process, right?
Not from the tracking perspective. So my my scenario is like, let's suppose we have a functionality where the team members have to create user stories for maybe UI and dev, testing, review. For example, I'm just giving an example, right? So for a simple discussion. So each story, we have to create these 4 subtasks, for example. So then let's suppose a sprint has 15 or 20 user stories. Every time team members going and creating that subtask in each and every user story, instead of that, we can trigger or we can initiate this type of automation rule where as and when a story gets created, we can enable this automation rule, which helps us to create that 15 force 60 subtasks for all the user stories.
Okay, got it. So same thing is applicable for the other work item types also, like the
Yes,
any work items like production problem or risk item, anything
it
else.
is. It is all based upon how and what we want to define the rule. We can go ahead and do it.
Got it.
Yeah, Sandeep, just now Shiva was back. So in the meanwhile, we are discussing about a question. So now Shiva started sharing. Yeah, Shiva, I could see Robin raised his hand.
Yeah, just a brief question. I saw that there were some predefined rules about in the sprint at the end of the sprint. I didn't
Yes.
see the details of that condition, but just wanted to clarify that what is the understanding of end of sprint? Is it the end of the day as per that specific time zone or Atlassian server timeline, or is this something that we can mention that, say, for example, 5:30 on a Tuesday is end of sprint? Is that, can we define it at a time level, or is this something that we say just define it at a day level and it would end?
Yeah, we can take a look at that, Robin. Yeah. Shiva, you're back.
Hey Satish, I have one question. Can I go ahead? Not related to the one which we saw till now. Like, if we want to create bulk stories within Epic or defects within Epic, do we have any AI rule to be applied? Like,
The same way we are discussing just now, right? When we create an epic, see, bulk creation. See, these automation rules can help when we are doing a repetitive task, repetitive type of work.
exactly. Yeah.
Right. So if we know that we have same set of user stories under epics, then maybe we can do that. But do we have same set of user stories for each epic? Might not be.
But okay, so in that case, the story titles are different, but rest of the config fields are similar, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That will it work?
Yes, that we can define using these automation rules, like the way how Shiva is explaining. No, whenever a new issue of user story is created, we can tag the next set of fields as required by defining the logic.
Then we have to customize for assigning
Exactly. Yes. So typically how we do it, like we add a label or a component, and we will define the rule stating that, okay, if this is the label in the user story, then assign to so-and-so individual. Or if this is the component, assign to so-and-so individual. That way, that assignees and everything, right? So we know who might be working on which set of user stories at the team level. So that might help in that assignment, and not just the assignment, for any other updating the tags or the releases or the labels or anything as such.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Sure. Shiva, you're back. Looks like Shiva is still having an issue. Shiva, Gokul, just a minute. We'll see if we can go ahead with the demo. Okay. Yeah. Gokul, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi, Satish. I have one clarification. I have the similar requirement. JIRA Cloud version only, but they have not enabled the automation. Since you said for multiple projects, it should be enabled. So should we get a separate license, or the same license itself will hold, right? Because
Same
of that, they're not.
license. Same license, but thing is, like, your JIRA admin will take a call at the organization level whether they want to enable or have some restrictions at the project level, because these rules, we need to make sure these suppose you are creating a rule, automation rule, they should not go and impact the other 150 scrum teams in your organization, right? So that's the reason they will take a decision how to create the rule or how to enable or how to activate these rules at the organization level.
But this is a project level.
Fair enough, Satish. I got it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, this we need to set that the project level restriction, Arun. Otherwise, it might get enabled at the entire organization level.
Got it, Satish. Thank you.
Yeah, Shiva, go ahead, please.
No, there are two levels.
Shiva, your voice is breaking again. Okay. Looks like some issue with his network connection. Maybe let me try to share my screen. Just give me a minute. In the meantime, I'll be back in a minute. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, please discuss among yourself.
This is Surekha. It is not related to the JIRA, but when we are, my question is, when I'm downloading the JIRAs, like if we have 1,000 user stories or like 500, attachments are not coming, only the link will come. Is there any way to get the attachment also downloaded along with the, is there any way? I'm just because checking. Meanwhile, if in case that option is available.
Yeah, there is an issue. I'm audible now?
Yeah, Shiva, you are audible now. Sureka has a question saying.
I'll come to you.
There is one question shot by Sureka saying that she's trying to download everything, but attachment is not coming. Can you answer that? Sureka, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. When I wanted to download, bulk user stories or Epic, I get the attachment with the link, means where the attachment is available. However, the actual document is not coming in the download. So I will not able to share with the people who are not having access to the JIRA Confluence. So for that reason, I was checking, is there any way to download the JIRAs in addition or along with the attachments?
Okay. Are you running query first and exporting? Then
Yeah, import, export. Correct. Export.
First, you're writing query.
Actually, your voice is breaking. I don't know whether it is for only me.
I think its voice is breaking. Shiva.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes, better. Yeah.
Okay. No, to download any report, right? You need to write a query first. Are you writing query first, then you're trying to download, or you're from which source you're trying to download it?
Only export. I'm downloading because it's a bulk, right? That's the reason. It's not a query.
Okay.
It's export. I am writing the query. It is not having a big condition. It's only the type equal to Epic or type equal to user story. Other than that, no other condition. But when I'm downloading it, when I say export, when I get the it will have only the attachment with a link, not having the physical document of the attachment.
I'll come to that point.
Sure.
Okay. So I've created one automation rule here for the subtask. Whenever a story created, you see that I have created an UTR as a subtask. It got created under the newly created story. Right. And if you refresh, and if you want to see that whether this story has any automation impacted, reflected over here, just click this refresh button and it will show you. If it is successful, it will show that the green indicates saying like it's impacted or reflected over here. If it is not working, then it will throw an error. So you can see the screen indicates that 2 minutes ago this automation has been reflected onto this. So this, as Sati said, this automation feature is there for both cloud and the data center as well. But in cloud, what they did is they also have enabled AI automation. So right now we have created one manually. You can see there is a create with AI, right? So we can call it as an artificial intelligence or Atlassian intelligence also. So if you click this AI, and it will ask you what do you want. So it will create like create 4 subtasks for a user story. Just click enter. It will create the whatever the manual steps what I did, like creating a trigger, conditions and all. The AI will do that for me. See, now it said that 0 subtask created. And also they named it the create subtask for user story. I'll name it as 4. Just for my understanding. I'll just say turn on rule. We'll see. It's showing 0 now. We'll see how it works.
But it is showing as 0, create 0 subtasks.
Yeah, I'm wondering that is what even.
This AI is enabled by default for all the projects, or it's separate license?
No, this is an add-on for the cloud version of the project Jira. Again, it's up to the organizations how are they going to enable it.
Okay, it's configurable. A is configurable.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So all these settings will be with the Jira admin. They have to activate it. So in our organization, our Jira admins did some POC analysis, and that's when they activated that AI for both Jira and Confluence. The same logic goes for every year. So the functionality is there. Only thing is like that needs to get activated by the Jira admin at the organization level.
Okay, for demo project, it is already available. I mean, for free trial ones, we can use
Yeah,
this.
it is a free trial.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So 4 is not getting created for me here. So someone asked me when all the child issues were completed, right? The closest sprint. So it will verify the parent, then it will go to the status is not equal to, all the status is not equal to. Then it will compare the whether the all the stories, subtasks, everything is the status is done column. Right? We have to set up the done column as the last column. Then everything has been done. It will close the sprint. See in our Jira as well, regardless our time frame, the time zone, we can close sprint anytime, right? We can close even sprint before, or even can close the sprint even after the timeline as well. It doesn't matter the time zone is. It matters is only that the status of the stories in which column they are in. If they are not.
So what happens? Yeah, I guess you're about to answer. But what happens if a couple of stories are in progress or yet to be completed? What happens to those user stories?
Now, if these issues are not closed, then the sprint will not close.
Okay, we need to go and do it manually.
Yeah, even if you're trying to close manually closing the sprint manually, it will trigger an error saying like these are the subtasks or these are the stories are being still in open status or in progress. So the condition is that when all the child issues are completed only, it will allow us to close the sprint.
Otherwise, Shiva, can we do one thing? Maybe if we specify the particular time, right, the iteration, once the time crosses, generally we are shifting whatever the task not done, we are pushing to the next sprint and we are closing the sprint, right? That is what we are doing generally. I think that will be fine, right? Maybe instead of we are not sure. All may or may not be closed, right, by the time frame sometimes.
Yeah, that is, but without reviewing, we are just because of time is close, so we are moving everything to the next sprint. Right?
Okay.
No, Shiva, suppose if I want to move to, suppose there are 4 subtasks, only 3 subtasks is closed, one is still not done. Okay, we are moving to the next sprint. If it is not allowed, again I need to remove this rules and regulation, whatever automation, and again can I do manually? This is the way, or
now before you close the sprint, if you remove that subtask, right? If you move it to subtask to the next sprint, then the sprint will get closed.
So we cannot close the parent until or unless we close all the subtasks.
But as per sprint is closed, okay, today's sprint is going to close. Okay, how can I?
No, we can spill over that topic, that particular story to the next sprint in that case. With the one story, see, three already done, one is not done. So this one subtask along with the parent story, we will push to the next sprint.
Okay.
No, the one I would like to say is like as you said, Shiva, it happens like that. You know, when one automation role, if 3 are done and 1 is not done, then the automation role will not trigger. So what we have to do is like, you know, we have to do it manually to close the leftover subtask, the child issue. Then only you know, we can move that to the we can call it as done. Otherwise, you know, it will spill to the next sprint. Whether it is to the next sprint or to the backlog, we get the selection like, you know, we have to select it. So automation rule, if you see in the audit log, what it will say that, it is not triggered, or you can get an email that, this rule is not worked out because of so and so the reason. So Atlassian will send that message that, the rule is not triggered.
Yes. So whenever there is a success or failure triggers, it will throw an notification to your email as well as in the JIRA notification as well.
Yeah, that's what the similar question I had actually for the spillover, like whether we have that rule, okay, or manually we have to do that, because especially the spillover happens in the actual case, right? Okay.
Yes. So it works only when the condition met, then only the trigger will take place.
But then can you not write one more condition there, to spill over the task and close the sprint? Even that kind of a rule also you can define, right? Or
yeah, I think
if
we
not,
can.
If not,
yeah, we can define that rule, like, with if else condition, we can do that. But the best practice that what we can do is, like, it's always good to see that, we are closing all the child issues and all, rather than having, one of the Jira best practices, like, to see that, we are closing all the child issues. We can have an if else condition to say that, condition 3 user stories are done and 1 is not done, we can move it to that, but that's not the best practice, I would say.
Yeah, and basically manual intervention always should be allowed, right? In case if you want to override, right, you can manually close the sprint and spill over the stories which are incomplete. Such kind of
we
a
can do
manual
that.
intervention.
That can be done. If
Exactly.
Yeah, when the automation triggered, it says alert that it is not getting triggered and it is throwing an error. Then there definitely there would be a manual intervention to move that ticket.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So
it will not happen.
manual intervention will always override all your rules and automation, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
That's the reason if you observe, all these automation rules are templates as defined, but they are not activated by default, right? So it is up to us to pick and choose which rule we want to use, or which rule we want to activate, or which rule we want to define or tweak, adjust. It is all up to us. The tool is providing the functionality. That's it, right?
Yeah. How much you want to use, how much you want to customize, it's up to us, basically.
Exactly. Yes.
But in the best practice is, like, we don't get the opportunity to create as many rules as possible, because we have to keep the project sensitivity and the security as well. So the Jira admin, they limit giving us the access, like, we can create so and so number of rules, and they can put a limit also that we can create 3 to 4 or 10 max 20 or something like that. But Atlassian gives you flexibility that as per the license and all, you'll have so many rules that you can create, like, to the entire board, the project, like, you have 20 teams working. So if 20 people making 40 automation rules and all, it will be clustered and all. So that would be a problem. So they keep the tab on it, like, how many automation rules and all you can create, and it will not allow more than that.
Yeah, we should be more conscious about while creating these automation rules, because under one project, as I said, the multiple teams will be there and it will reflect everyone. It is not the team level, it is entire project level it is. And someone asked, like, we have also the global administrator. It means I can set it for the entire organization as well, like multiple projects also. I can do this. So again, at your project, the Jira admin will have this access. So very repetitive, very commonly used tasks or activities which are manually spending more time, that we have to consensusly we have to discuss and decide that which automation we need to be understand and to trigger, and everyone should know that, so that otherwise the POs and Scrum Master, the team member will get confused that I created subtask and now I created only story and subtask is getting created, right? So they should know that. So which rule is being applied here and all, they should know that. Well,
Shiva, I have one question on these two rules. Can I go ahead, please? Yeah. On these two rules, complete sprint when all stories are closed and create new sprint. So all the subtasks are closed or done. on the 10th day, automatically it will be done, or is any specific thing we need to do or something like that, which we have closed all the things. Is there anything specific timer or something like that we have to do? Because if we miss by any chance on the 10th day of the sprint or creation of the sprint, like that.
No, it will check only the statuses of all the stories which are in this current sprint. So even if it is the 10th day of this or last day of the sprint closer, 8th day also you can close the sprint when all the stories have been closed, right? Manually.
Okay, fine, got it. Okay, only the subtask
Right.
condition should
So
be there.
in the
Okay.
condition also, the automation trigger will verify whether all the stories have been closed at the state.
Got it. Correct.
Shiva, there are like contradicting if I'm missed or something, because when parent is completed, then children will get closed. How can we close the parent before closing the subtasks or child tasks? It is not possible, right?
It's not possible.
But we have created is the other way, no? When parent is completed, close the child.
You're trying to close the parent for the
Shiva, you're breaking again. Shiva, we cannot hear you clearly.
Your voice is breaking.
Give a minute. The parent. No, the condition is the parent will get closed when all the child issues are closed.
No. That is the condition is other way. When parent is done, all the childs will close.
How it is possible? When parent is done,
No, it should not be the case. Like, I would say that, when the child issues are done, we can, at the epic level, we can trigger an automation rule that, when all the child issues are done, we can move that epic to done. Like, we can do that. That automation rule we can create. But, if it is parent is done and all child issues, that's not the case, right? When the reason we are creating the child issues, like, we have to complete.
No,
It's not the way that we are closing that. That's not the best way to do it, actually.
No, that's what my question was actually. So the rule that was created, which was showed is the other way. When the parent is completed, the child issues will closed or subtasks will be closed.
No, that without then that's not the best practice. That's what I'm trying to tell. It's like
No, Shiva, can you show the task that you created, automation task, so we can see which one Sagar is talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying. It's getting reloaded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
See, I could see two automation rules default created or the templates available within JIRA. The first one is saying when all child issues are completed, then close the parent, which is what we are discussing, which we all agree upon. The second rule, what it is saying is like when the parent is completed, then close all the child issues present, for which Sagar had a concern why it should not be the case, or that should not be the ideal scenario, right? So there is a rule which is defined. So sometimes what happens, right? I know the logic behind it. So they're talking about the completed. So let's suppose at the organization level, the release level, we took a decision that one of the feature or the epic is not required to implement. So we might go ahead and update at the epic level, stating that will not implement or something. Then we can transit all the child issues as well to the same status. Right. So this need not be the case exactly like closing all the child issues, but we need to tweak and make sure like what should be the case when the parent is tagged to a specific status, what should be the case of the child issues. Shiva, we are talking about the second rule. When parent is completed, close all the child issues present.
Yeah, second and fourth.
Yeah, second and fourth. Yeah, so Sagar, you got the context. So it happened in our organization sometimes, like we defined some 15 or 20 epics for one of a release, out of which 2 epics we realized that we won't be required to implement for this current release. So the product owners went ahead and updated the epic level that will not implement, but still the child issues or the user stories are still showing with the relevant status. That's where we triggered this type of automation rule, stating that we use the same rule, but we updated the logic stating that when the parent is updated as will not implement, then update the child issues also into will not implement status.
Okay.
Not as closed.
We can control the status and resolution both.
Exactly. Yes, it is up to us. That is a template. We can update the existing template as well, or we can create a similar, taking our own rules.
Yeah. Thanks for the context.
Yeah, these are the standard templates. Okay. It's up to us which one you would like to take.
Sure. While doing, suppose I'm the new in the automation, okay, we need to know that rules, condition, and scenario. These three things is most important while we creating the automation. Correct?
Correct.
No. Can you give an example, like a step by step? Suppose I want any give the example. Can you do one new one? Exactly. Yeah, this is automation. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll create the new one then.
Yeah, new one.
Say I'm asking to trigger automation rule here, right? To trigger that. So what I need to do is when issue is getting created, I'll take the most popular. When the issue is getting created, issue might be the story, epic, the bug, or the task, whatever it may be. Okay. So this is an way in which condition the issue is required. What is required here is, so what do you want when the issue is getting created? So that I want to add here. Like I want to add it to an assignee, whom to want to assign or create a subtask.
Suppose my issues want to be done when we enter the deployment date. Okay. Suppose in the sprint deployment date is tomorrow. We have okay. Automatically those items move into done item only. That is my scenario. Based on the deployment date, I'm going to releasing the item.
Okay, you want to close a story, right?
Yes, close the story based on the deployment date, not a sprint. Suppose if I'm using a Kanban, okay, my story need to be go to done based on the deployment date.
Okay, based on the so we can set the due date. Based on the due date, it will go to the status.
Yes, absolutely correct.
So it will, but I have not said that before here because I'm just exploring it. But there is a condition based on the due date, it will change the statuses. Right? Issue moved, issue will get update. So based on the due date, it will get change the status.
Raj, what you brought up is a specific issue. Maybe we need to explore and find out those things, Raj.
No. My thing is automation. What happened? Suppose if I'm using Kanban board, okay. The thing is, my team is not me status always they are doing manually. But my thing is, when the deployment date, what they mentioning, okay, automatically those items go to the done item only. Once the condition reach, okay, the deployment date is today only. Today it will be go to automatically those items to done, either should be in progress, development, anything. Okay, because of later I can check with them, because of I want to know that even though if it is go to done item, my team is not be done, I need to check with them. Okay, this is a way just for
no, I understood your point, but the thing is right now we don't have an answer for that. We just need to explore it and try it out. So there should be some conditions. That's all we know.
Yeah.
The exact condition we don't know right now. Yeah.
Okay. No, leave it. Just another any small condition. Okay, I want to know how to create because of I don't know that. First of all, I need to go template. Then I need to be create the issues. This is the way. Just I'm asking you for the Shiva, how to create the any automation. Only simple things. Okay. Like how when you go to the JQL, we have a field, we have a functions, we have a keyword. Okay, the some clause plus keyword, we have a rules. Okay, same way Here, how exactly the rules in the basic things I'm asking.
So here also we need to set that due date to that to the specific issue type. So here right now, if you see the value change, the due date is not defined here. But if I set the due date, the field is due date and the condition is equal to the specific date. I'll give today's date only. Of the June, and then the transition will go to the done column.
Shiva, maybe can you explain that the three logic required for creating an automation rule, that when condition, the then condition, and everything, so that it might help everyone? Yes, these three steps: when value changes for due date, and then what is it, the automation rule, it is, what is it required to create automation rule? Shiva, you able to hear us?
Yeah, is it answer to your question? Because this is the due date is tomorrow.
No. See, Raj's question is not that, if I got it correct.
No, I'm asking about simple how to make
how to create a new automation rule.
What are the process will be there? How to step by step? That I'm asking.
No. First, you need to have a project lead access to the project in the JIRA.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't have access to the project lead, you cannot create it. So that to navigate to this automation field in JIRA, right, you need to have the project lead access first.
Yeah.
So once you go there as an automation, click automation, and you can create an automation here.
Okay.
So where is this automation coming? Can you explain where this automation is from the main?
In the project settings.
From project settings. Is it?
Yes.
In the project settings. The project setting page you can able to navigate only when you have an access to the project lead.
Okay.
Once you go to the project settings, you can see the automation over here, and click the create rules. So in which condition you want to create a rule. So there is already a recommended list of issues you can see here, that issue commented, deleted, or whatever it will be. The most popular one, or the field change, or issue commented, or issue created. Use one of the condition for triggering, and then you add the condition. What action do you want? You want, once the issue created, whether you want to create a subtask, or whether you want to assign it to a particular person, or you want to by default you want the newly created defect should have the high priority and all, but action that you can take. That also it will tell that send an email whenever a new issue gets created. I want to trigger an email, that you can do that as well. You can add the trigger and whom do you want to send that email. That will trigger an email whenever whoever created an issue in entire project, the specific person will get an email.
Always the first rule we need to be create the issue only. Other than issue. Hello.
No, not required. It is not just an issue always. I just give an example that creating an issue. So I'll use it to version deleted. Whenever there is a version deleted, I want to trigger something. The list of the features are over here. The most commonly I took the issue created because we can easily relate because in a day-to-day time we create issues, right? So that is the reason I've taken that issue created. So if I want to see that issue deleted or issue linked or issue updated, whenever the sprint created, I want some activities that also can do that. And JIRA has also to set up the build, right? Whenever we are setting up the build and it get failed, I want some notification. I want to trigger something else that I can also do it. These are development DevOps related things.
What you are showing the right side, those are the rules, okay? Based on the rules, okay.
Yeah. In which condition you want to see that?
Okay.
So that's the reason the automation rule it is. It is not just an automation rule it is.
On the right, those are not rules. Those are the list of triggers. We could choose any of those triggers, right?
Yes. To run the rule,
okay,
we need to first we need to set up the trigger first.
Can you go
This
to release
entire...
Can you go to release management? You just wanted to see what are those inside that.
Yes, it has version deleted, created, released, unreleased, updated. Right. See, any version gets changed, the release date gets changed or anything, right? We can go ahead and do that. Or whenever version gets released, we can create a Confluence page using that, or we can update a Confluence page. So we can send an email as in when a version gets released. So like that, it is
Yeah,
up to us.
you can do lot many things. Yeah, lot many things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So these are all the triggers which we can combine, which we can club based upon the logics and how and what we want to do it.
Yeah, it looks like a very powerful tool. The way you explore and use it, it will depend on that. How much of that automation you would want to leverage and use it. But yeah, it looks like that it has it is very powerful and it has a lot of things which are embedded inside. Yeah.
Yes. See, like when version release, then we can do like send an email or send a Slack message. So there are different things. The Atlassian, they are providing a lot of things. We need to, we can choose which could or which might help us from our context perspective, and we need to club them, the trigger and the rule and the logic. And along with that, we may have to add a if condition in between. Right. So like when the version released or when the version updated, we may have to update all the in progress stories or all the stories which are not in done state. So we need to add that if condition as well. It might not be applicable for everything, like the sprint closure scenario or the example which we discussed, right? Whenever we are reaching to that sprint closure, we won't be spilling out all the tasks, only the in progress tasks or the tasks or the stories which are not in done status. So the if condition also might come into context in between. So Shiva, there is a question, not the question, the context in the chat. Please create one simple automation rule without using a template. Want to see a manual creation of a simple rule.
Yeah, we did that, but still we got into it.
That is what we have here.
Yes, you can continue that. I'm about to say that.
Yeah, I think he did that with issue creation. Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to take some other example, you can take that.
Maybe another thing. It's not just for issue, right? Yes.
Okay, wait. In that I'll do.
Hey, but Shiva, is there anything else you wanted to show us, Shiva?
No, this is the only one, the automation one.
Fine.
Yeah, I think this gives a fair idea, at least. Yeah.
Guys, individual rules, I think we should explore and find out, man. We cannot
exactly.
everything here.
No, everything cannot be taught here. Okay, I mean, but yes, there are many things which you can explore it yourself.
You are breaking, Sandeep. We cannot hear you clearly. Sandeep, we cannot hear you clearly.
Yeah, let me know. Drop it.
Okay. Shiva, can I take a screen share for a moment?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So I just want to show one rule which I created for my project. Of course, this is a sample project, so nothing to worry. So I created a what do you say, auto update label for child issues. So what the context is like, our product owners and the product managers, they are updating the label at the epic level. Like we all know, right? We might be using label for different contexts. So for our context, we the product managers or product owners are coming and updating the labels at the epic level. When we are creating the JQLs or the filters, we are unable to. We are just getting only the epics, not the child user story. So that's where we created this automation rule. Before implementing it at the organization level, I played around in my free version. So that's what I just want to show. What is the logic is like when the value changes for labels. So I created the trigger as a label, right? And then what happens? Type of or related issues. I created a branch. What needs to be done, whether it is for current issue. Raj, you might want to go on mute. Oh, what needs to happen is what I defined as a second branch or a child, the current issue, or for the subtask, or for the parent, or for the children, or for the stories, or other issues in Epic, or all created issues. So there are different related issues which can be used, or even for a JQL, or in a issues in a version, issues in the sprint, there are different rules which we can use that. So what my context is like, when the value gets changed at epic level, I want that same to be replicated at all the child user stories within the same epic. So that's where we had to play around this, and that's when we figured out this is how we can use it. I selected that stories within the epic. So what does it mean? If the issue that triggered this rule is an epic, let's loop over all the issues in this epic. This is the logic which is happening. That's the reason we opted this specific branch. Once that is done, what it is happening, then edit issue fields. So what is it we did? Copy from epic. We pick and choose what we want to replicate from the epic. We selected label. We just want only the label, not the other things. So we selected the label and we defined that, yes. So replicate the label, whatever is there at the parent level, to simulate or replicate at the child level. Right? So this is how we created that, and it worked from our context perspective. So we need to understand our context, and we need to see what happens or what is our context, and accordingly we need to play around this automation rules. And it is showing the log as well, what happened and everything. And we can see the field value changed, it got triggered and everything. See the branch rule, it has some issues initially when I'm playing around, but then it got created. See the field value got changed. So this is how we can even check in the log what or where it got updated and when it happened and everything.
So, Satish, I have one doubt, Satish.
Yes, sir.
This one, is there any sandbox kind of thing? So like I'm creating a rule, before I want to apply, I want to make sure that at least it is going to do the changes only what I'm expecting, and it is not doing anything more. So is there any way, like you told right now, you are trying out in your private personal account, right? JIRA account. Is instead of that, from our normal account itself, is there any sandbox environment, something where I can try out the rules before it actually gets applied?
There should be a way. I don't think I have it here, but within my enterprise license, right, there is a way where we can trigger the rule and figure out what's happening.
Yeah, because I don't want to actually affect any change right now. I just want to see what is going to happen, kind of. Okay.
Yes. So this is a free version. That's the reason it is not coming up. Maybe I can check and I can update you on Monday.
Sure.
But there, I checked that in my enterprise version where there is a I don't remember whether it is called as a sandbox or playground, something like that.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So there is a way which we can do that. I can check and I'll let you know.
Sure.
Or if in case anyone has an idea, can do that.
In your organization, you can create a new project and you can play around that.
But see, we don't have access to create project on our own. It is controlled by
we can request
JIRA
for an IT service saying like to create a new project.
Yes.
No,
not every organization allows.
Workaround, Shiva. What you're telling is like a workaround, right? What I'm asking is the actual project, the current project itself. I just want to see what will happen. Yeah.
You can do in your current project and you can toggle switch off and switch on anytime.
No, see, once we run the rule, right, it might impact maybe some 100 issues unknowingly. Right?
Yeah.
So Arun's point is like, you want to check whether the actual logic which we defined is working as expected. Only then you want to turn on the rule.
It's like
Shiva got the context.
Yeah,
no, it will take in a minute,
testing.
right? Satish, like I'll create an automation and I can switch off as well. It may be in the late night. I can do that.
Shiva. We can do that. We can do that. But what if like something with the logic which we might have missed or something else worked and it went and updated 1,000 issues by mistake?
Yeah, it again depends on the rules what we're going to set that.
Exactly, right? So until we get that confidence or until we know whether the rule which we defined is actually working or not, to test before actually turning it on is what Arun's context.
The simple rule they can try, but if it is very the challenging, the very complex one, even after that also it is difficult to know that where and all it got impacted.
That's true. Yes. Yeah, Arun, let me check once on it and I will let you know. But in case anyone else has any pointers, you can do that.
Yeah, Satish. See, my question is currently we have a backlog readiness and backlog health as a metric, team level metrics. So if a team decides to have a 4 sprints worth backlog as a backlog health, this thing, is there any way to get some trigger email to us, to some of the assigned people, that whenever the backlog health come down to 4 sprints, is that kind of rule can be put?
This is a bit tricky logic, Sri Nagesh. No, the reason is like when you say 4 sprints, how do we define that 4 sprints? We need to first understand that logic.
Not for at least 2 sprints. I mean,
yeah, even for 1 sprint or 2 sprint, right? See, when we say 4 sprints or 2 sprints, or even for 1 sprint, if we take this sprint, our capacity or velocity, whatever it is, might be 50 story points, for example. The next sprint might be only 40 or maybe 60. There might be different logics come into context. So first we need to understand how we want to define that backlog health needs to be. Accordingly, we need to tweak, we need to play around it. There might not be a direct way, but yes, we need to play around that logic.
Sorry, like your requirement is what, Sri? You're saying whether it is
4 sprints, whenever the backlog is less than or below 4 sprints worth of user stories, an email should get triggered.
Can you elaborate what does it mean? Less than?
Okay, fair enough. Got it.
Okay, so let me clarify. Let's
Sure.
say I have one team. For last 1 year, 6 months, historically, they're working on these many work items. These work items including the stories, tasks, whatever the different JIRA issue types. Okay, so we have defined each sprint. Usually they can pick up these many work items. So the backlog readiness or backlog health metric is depending on n number of work items they can take an average per each sprint. So if that number is equivalent to 4 sprint worth work items, they maintain 2 months, like 4 sprints backlog health metric. Anytime it is coming down less than 4 sprints worth work items in the backlog, JIRA not taking the active sprint work items. So can you put a rule to send an email to like RTE, Scrum Master, Product Owner, or whom you want to put? Is that possible to trigger an email whenever it is coming less than 4 sprints worth backlog health?
So how you are calculating? Is it number of items? I mean issues, or like number of story points?
Story points.
Okay. I think we can create a JQL, whatever you're talking, right? So based on JQL, you can trigger that email.
Okay.
So you can create a JIRA query where the story points, if it is lesser than that, then you can have email in your inbox.
But Sagar, we also want the average velocity also, right? From what he says, he wants to use the average velocity to find out how many story points would be completed in the next 2 months or 2 sprints, and then find out if that many stories are in the backlog. So may a bit tricky and complicated, but we need to explore and find out.
So here, are we relating a velocity with the backlog readiness to measure, right? Or to report to the management? That is the objective of this ask, right? Of this metrics meaning, right?
Let's say, last 2 months, this team, let's say 200 story points. 200 story points is equivalent to 4 sprints worth, productivity. If we agree on this 200 story points, every time the productivity is coming down to more than less than 200 story points, equivalent to 4 sprints worth work items, this should trigger an email to the respective people. Guys, it is coming down less than 200 story points. Can you work on the improving the backlog?
But I believe this automation works at the project level, not at the team level.
Oh.
Yeah, this is entirely at the project level. See,
No, not necessarily. If we can add a label for the team, right, then we can use that label to as a trigger or as a if condition to filter out for that particular team only, and then we can keep using that.
Yeah, probably I have not explored that, but if you could trigger an email in such a way that then every time if I create any issues in the backlog and if I move it before I move it to a future sprint, it will trigger an email, right? Saying like the less issues and all that. Unless I add more issues or the specified number, it will keep on trigger.
Correct. So let's say you said organization. For me, organization nothing but 5 Scrum teams. See, we are working
Project
on a
level.
Agile release train. See, Agile release train for me is one organization, team of teams. There are 5 teams are there. For all these 5 teams, as you said, put a label for each Scrum team. Whichever Scrum team is getting lesser than 200 story points, when we measure the backlog health story points equal to 200 story points, let it trigger an email to them. What is, they will refer an email and go back to the, backlog and talk to product owner. In the refinement session, they can improve on these work items, right?
Yeah, I guess it is possible. I've never explored that in automation.
Okay, sure.
It's possible through JQL, I think, not through automation, I think. The rules will not be there, but through
No,
JQL.
if anything is possible through JQL, it should be possible in automation also. So
Yes,
if you're
we
able to
can.
come up with that logic, right? Exact fields, then yeah, sorry, go ahead, Satish. Sorry.
Yeah, we can create a JQL and we can use that JQL into this automation rule, and we should be able to do that. But again, it is not so simple or straightforward, because that comparison and checking that, right? So we need to figure out a way how we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, let me try it around, Sri. We can
Sure.
we'll keep you posted.
Sure. Thanks.
And yeah, in the meantime, Arun, coming back to your previous question, right? From what do you say, the automation, there is a link called as see more templates on automation library. I clicked on that, and it took me to this page where once we scroll down, we have this automation playground.
Okay, great.
Right. So this is what I was remembering. Somewhere I saw this playground. So he's telling that this is safe sandbox environment where you can interactively explore hundreds of already existing rules. Right. We can play around, or we can create a new rule and we can run that, and we can see the usage as well.
Great. Thanks, Satish. I'll explore that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there are already existing rules also. So this is for everyone. So someone, if in case you want to play around, we can play around these and see the auto is and high priority Jira issues, auto close old Jira service desk report issues. So there are across the globe, if you can see, right, the scope, they are seeing that different across the globe. They updated when they updated and everything. We can make use of it. We can just play around, and if in case any of them could be helpful for our context, we can make use of these and we can see how we can get benefit from our organization. These are not available for our organization implementation. These are defined by different folks across the world. We can make use of this, create our own rule within our organization. Right. So two ways. First thing, we can play around by creating a new rule before actually triggering and implementing it. The second thing, we can try to reuse some of the existing automation rules which someone else created, and of course, after checking the feasibility from our organization context. Right. See, there are some rules created. See, when a subtask is created, copy summaries from both parent and epic and update the components. There are different links. See, this is what for the bugs. When high priority issue is created, update the due date. We can do that with SLAs or anything as such, right? And this is one of the question which we got from one of the group member. Like whenever an issue is created, they want someone to add as a watcher to that issue, so that like they will get to know. They are outside the team, not within the team, but let's suppose an architect or for someone, for example, outside the team, when a specific issue gets created, we can tweak like with a label or with a component and we can add them as a watcher to that issue, so that they will get to know any transitions or any updates or changes happening within that role. Okay. Are you good?
Yes,
Super.
Satish, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Satish.
Yes, we took a little bit more time than anticipated, but yes, looks like this can be definitely helpful for all of us. Thanks, Shiva, for taking your time and having this session, and thanks everyone for the participation. We will share the recording.
Sure. So this thanks all of you. I think this is really useful. Maybe in future also we can do more, or even I also I can also conduct one of the sessions. Okay. Thanks, Shiva.
Sure, definitely. Thanks everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.